If your English is pretty good, but when you actually speak, you don't sound as confident or as fluent as you would like, this video is for you. Because you might not need to learn more English. You might need to get better at using the English you already have. And there are 4 speaking skills in particular that can completely change the way you sound. These are pausing, pacing, intonation, and emphasis. And by the end of this video, I will give you a simple exercise that you can use to practice all 4. But first, I want to make something clear. The goal is not to speak perfect English. Nobody speaks perfect English. And if every time you open your mouth, you're thinking, was that grammar rule correct? Or did I use the right word? Or did I pronounce that correctly? Of course you're going to hesitate. Of course you're going to overthink. And sometimes you're just going to freeze. And I've seen this so many times. The real goal is to get to the point where you can stop thinking about every little detail and just speak. This is when you can express your ideas. You can speak with flow, like a river. You can keep talking. You don't need to stop, hesitate, freeze, or overthink. This is when you can bring your personality and energy into the conversation. This is when you can sound like you in English. And these 4 skills can help you get there. I want you to think about cooking. And I know, how's that related to English? Let me tell you. You can have all of the ingredients sitting there on your kitchen counter. You can have the vegetables, the spices, the oil, everything you need to make a delicious dish. But the ingredients don't automatically make you a good cook. It's what you do with them that matters. And English is similar. Maybe you already have a good vocabulary. Maybe you understand grammar. And when you watch this video, you can understand what I'm saying. So you've got the ingredients. You've got these different ingredients here. But when you speak, something still doesn't quite feel right. Maybe you rush. Maybe you hesitate in strange places. Maybe your voice becomes flat or monotone. Maybe the important parts of what you're saying don't stand out. So instead of constantly trying to collect more ingredients, more vocabulary, more grammar, that's just adding more vegetables, more oil, more spices. I want you to start working on how you use the English you already have. And there are 4 things I want you to pay attention to. The first one is pausing. A lot of English learners are uncomfortable with silence. Even native speakers, it can make you feel awkward and uncomfortable. That's normal. They can feel like if they stop speaking for even 1 second, the other person is going to think, oh, their English isn't very good, or they don't know what they're talking about. So they try to fill that space. But confident speakers pause. A pause gives you time to think, gives you time to digest, gives your listener time to process what you've just said. And it can actually make an important idea feel even more important. So don't think of a pause as, I don't know what to say. Think of it as, I'm giving this idea some space, some room to breathe, a moment to give my listener a chance to digest it. And when you practice, pay attention to whether you're pausing naturally between ideas instead of trying to push everything out in one continuous stream. The next thing is pacing. This is so important. Speaking quickly does not automatically make you sound fluent. In fact, if you're trying to speak faster than your brain can comfortably produce English, you can sound less confident. You start to stumble over your words. You lose your sentence halfway through. And you start filling the space with These are filler words. Or if you say something and immediately want to go back and correct it, this also doesn't help. It's not a race. You don't need to rush to finish your idea. Find a pace where you can keep your thoughts and your mouth working together. Sometimes you can speed up and sometimes slow down. And give yourself enough time to actually communicate the idea clearly. The next thing I want you to focus on is intonation. This is number 3. This is basically the movement in your voice. Your voice goes up and it comes down. Intonation. This is a really powerful way to become an exciting, energetic speaker. Your pitch changes depending on what you're saying and what you mean. And this is one of those things you might not notice until you record yourself. Because when you're concentrating really hard on vocabulary and grammar and pronunciation, sometimes all of your attention goes into finding the words and your voice becomes flat. Everything sounds the same. This is monotone, almost like a robot. An extreme example perhaps. But when you listen to yourself, just ask, does my voice have some movement? Does it sound like I'm interested in what I'm saying? Does my voice communicate some of my personality and energy? You don't need to become a voice actor. That's not the point here. Just try to bring some life back into your English. This is good for you, makes you more engaging, and it's good for your listener because they will definitely pay attention and understand you more clearly. And finally, emphasis. This is number 4. Not every word in your sentence is equally important. So when you speak, there are certain words or ideas that you want your listener to pay attention to. So you emphasize them. You might say, I don't think you need to learn more English. You see how I emphasize the word more because that's important in this context. Or you could say, you need to get better at using the English you already have. Just by changing where I put the emphasis, I'm helping you understand what matters in the sentence. This is especially important if you want to command attention when you speak. Because confident communication isn't just about getting the words out quickly. It's about guiding the listener through your ideas. Now, those are the 4 big things that I want you to take away from this video. And you might be wondering, how do I actually improve all of this? Well, here's the exercise I want you to try. Take your phone and record yourself speaking English for 1 or 2 minutes. That's it. Pick something simple. Talk about your day, give an opinion on something, explain an idea, talk about your job, anything. It doesn't really matter what you talk about. And don't try to make the first recording perfect. Just speak normally, as you would in a normal situation. Then listen back, watch back and listen. And I want you to score yourself on 4 things. 1. Pausing. Did you pause naturally between key ideas and important moments? Next, pacing. Were you rushing? Were you speaking too slowly? Or did your pace feel comfortable and natural? Give yourself a score out of 10. Intonation. Was there variation in your voice? Or did you sound a little flat? And finally, give yourself a score on emphasis. Did you emphasize the important words and ideas? Could somebody listening easily tell which parts of your message mattered most? Just give yourself a score for each one. 10 being perfect, this is the best, I couldn't be better, and 1 being terrible, I definitely need to improve. Give yourself a score, and then notice what's happening here. This doesn't need to be scientific. It just gives us some data and a baseline to know where to improve first. And the important part here, don't listen to your recording and think, oh no, I sound so bad. My pacing is bad. My pronunciation is bad. My intonation is bad. My pauses are terrible. I need to fix everything. No, don't do that. I see too many people have a real self-deprecating view of their English when in fact they've done an amazing job to get to that level. Just choose one thing that you can improve. Maybe you notice you're speaking too fast. Great. Then just make the recording one more time. But this time, focus on the one thing to improve. Maybe you just need to slow down. Or maybe your voice sounds flat in the original, so just record it again and focus on adding a little more variation to your voice, bringing it up and down. Then listen to version 1 again. Then listen to version 2. Just see, can you see the difference? Can you hear the difference? That comparison is very useful because now you're not just hoping your speaking gets better. You are listening, adjusting, and trying again. This is how you improve. So, record, give yourself a rating, record again, analyze. Repeat that process. If you do this regularly, I guarantee you, you will transform. You will improve your speaking. You will speak with much more confidence, clarity, and fluency. And if you're thinking, okay, I can practice this by myself, but I'd really like somewhere I can actually speak English regularly and get feedback, that's exactly why I created the English Speaking Gym. It's a place where you can practice every day, regularly, get feedback on your speaking, and actually work on these kinds of skills. Because you can learn vocabulary and grammar all day long. But at some point, you have to speak. You have to learn to use the ingredients that you have. You need opportunities to use your English. Notice what's holding you back. Get feedback and keep improving. So, if you want some help, you're very welcome to claim a free trial. The link's in the comments. Come and say hello. You may already have the ingredients. You may already know enough vocabulary, enough grammar to have some really good conversations in English. And maybe your next step isn't constantly learning more. It's not more input. Maybe it's learning how to use what you already have. That's output. That's producing the language. So work on your pauses, work on your pacing, pay attention to your intonation, use emphasis to make your ideas stand out, and little by little, the goal is that you stop feeling like you're trying to speak English all the time. You just speak. You can express yourself freely. You can bring your true personality into the conversation, just like you can in your native language. You can command attention when you have something important to say. This is especially powerful for professionals and business people. You can finally start to sound like you in English. And I can't wait to see you achieve this. Remember, consistency is key. It doesn't happen in one day, but if you keep practicing, you keep improving, you will achieve your goals. Now, go and do the task, make the recording, make a new one after analyzing, and I look forward to seeing your results. Let's go.